All right, now that you've watched the video on the Land of Gallons song, it's time to put that song to action, converting units of measurement within the capacity customary units. So let's get to work. All right, the first thing we need to do is we need to sing our song. So we say, in the land of Gallon, there lived 4 queens. Each and every queen had just 2 things. A prince and a princess to call their own. Each prince and princess had 2 children of their own. Each of the children were 8 years old, and that's the land of Gallon, or so I've been told. So you want to make sure before solving problems with customary units of capacity, you have your land of Gallon in front of you. If you don't like the land of Gallon, then make sure you have the conversion chart in front of you. And you have both of those in your resources for today. Okay, so here we go. We are going from 12 pints to quarts. So when I look here at my chart, I can see that quarts is bigger than pints. So this is my big unit and this is my small unit. So we're going from small to big, divide that pig. So we're going to take 12 and we're going to divide it. But what are we going to divide it by? We need to figure out how many pints are inside of a quart. Well, inside of our Q, we see 2 P's. So there are 2 pints inside of a quart. So we're going to divide by 2. 12 divided by 2 equals 6. So there are 6 quarts inside of 12 pints. And doesn't that make sense? If this is our total amount of 12 pints, and it takes 2 pints to make 1 quart, then here would be 2 pints, so that's 1 quart. And then here's another 2 pints, so that's 2 quarts. And then here's another 2 pints, 3 quarts. And another 2 pints, 4 quarts. And another 2 pints, 5 quarts. And another 2 pints, 6 quarts. So if these are my pints and these are my quarts, you can see that inside of 12 pints, it's the same thing as 6 quarts. Let's look at another one. Let's draw our land of Gallon. Sing it with me. In the land of Gallon, there lived 4 queens. Each and every queen had just 2 things. A prince and a princess to call their own. Each prince and princess had 2 children of their own. Each of the children were 8 years old, and that's the land of Gallon, or so I've been told. All right, in this problem, we are going from gallons to quarts. And you'll notice I use the abbreviations this time. GAL, gallons, QTS, quarts. Obviously, the land of Gallon, gallon is my big unit, so quarts is my small unit. We're going from big to small, multiply them all. So I'm going to take 7 and multiply it. Well, what am I going to multiply it by? How many quarts are in a gallon? Inside of 1 gallon, we see 1, 2, 3, 4 quarts. So inside 7 gallons, we would need to do 7 times 4. 7 times 4 is 28. So there are 28 quarts inside of 7 gallons. Again, to see that visually, if I have 1 gallon, I have 4 quarts. I can see that right here. So if I have 2 gallons, that becomes 8 quarts. 3 gallons becomes 12. 4 gallons is 16 quarts. 5 gallons is 20 quarts. 6 gallons is 24 quarts. So 7 gallons is 28 quarts. You can think of having 7 of these and just count up all the Q's inside of it. 7 gallons equals 28 quarts. All right, you know what to do. In the land of Gallon, there lived 4 queens. Each and every queen had just 2 things. A prince and a princess to call their own. Each prince and princess had 2 children of their own. Each of the children were 8 years old, and that's the land of gallon, or so I've been told. All right, this problem is written backwards. We want to figure out how many pints are in 2 gallons. So obviously, gallons is our big unit, pints is our small unit. Now be careful with the chant that you say. Yes, I know that the S comes before the B, but notice we don't have any pints. So we're really going big to small, multiply them all. We're taking our 2 gallons and we're figuring out how many pints that would be. Well, how many pints are in 1 gallon? Here's my land of gallon. Let's count our P's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 pints in 1 gallon. So to find how many pints would be in 2 gallons, we need to do 2 times 8, which equals 16. There are 16 pints in 2 gallons. I know this because if I have 1 gallon, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pints. So inside of 2 gallons, there would be 16 pints. Are you starting to get the hang of it? Let's look at another one. Sing it with me. In the land of gallon, there lived 4 queens. Each and every queen had just 2 things, a prince and a princess to call their own. Each prince and princess had 2 children of their own. Each of the children were 8 years old, and that's the land of gallon, or so I've been told. All right, a new unit, fluid ounces and cups. If I have 16 fluid ounces, how many cups do I have? Well, looking here, if I know that each of the children are 8 years old, there are 8 fluid ounces inside of a cup. This is small and this is big. So we're going small to big, divide that pig. We're going to divide up 16. Or we could just look at our chart over here. If I need to find 16 fluid ounces, well, here's 8 and here's another 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. So I'm only looking right here. Well, how many cups is in my circle? 2 cups. Another way to look at it is inside of 1 cup, there are 8 fluid ounces. So I would divide 16 by 8 to get 2. So whether you want to do it mathematically or you want to do it by looking visually at the chart, we can see that when we have 16 fluid ounces, it's the same as 2 cups. Bonus, it's also the same as 1 pint. And for those of you who are a little bit more advanced and looking for that challenge, it's also the same as half of a quart. All right, let's look at another one. In the land of gallon, there lived 4 queens. Each and every queen had just 2 things, a prince and a princess to call their own. Each prince and princess had 2 children of their own. Each of the children were 8 years old, and that's the land of gallon, or so I've been told. I'm singing it over and over because I want you to be able to memorize this chart. It's going to help you. All right, now we're looking at quarts and cups, but look, our equation is written backwards. Don't let it confuse you. Quarts, the Q is much bigger than the C, so this is our big and this is our small. But be careful. We know the 8 cups. We don't know the quarts, so we're really going small to big. Divide that pig. We're going to take up our 8 cups and we're going to divide it by how many quarts there are. All right, so let's figure out how many cups are in a quart. So inside of 1 quart, we can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 cups. So I'm going to take my 8 and divide by 4. 8 divided by 4 equals 2. So I know that if I have 8 cups, I have 2 quarts. I can also see that visually looking at my chart. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's my 8 cups. Well, how many quarts is that? 1, 2. So whether you want to do it mathematically or using your chart, either way, we can see that 2 quarts equals 8 cups. All right, we only have a few more. In the land of Gallon, there lived 4 queens. Each and every queen had just 2 things, a prince and a princess to call their own. Each prince and princess had 2 children of their own. Each of the children were 8 years old, and that's the land of Gallon, or so I've been told. I sure hope you're singing along with me. It'll help you memorize it faster. All right, in this problem, we are going from fluid ounces to pints. Fluid ounces are the smallest units, so we're going from small to big. Divide that pig. We're doing a lot of division today. So we're going to take 48, but what are we going to divide it by? We have to figure out how many fluid ounces are in a pint. How many fluid ounces are in a pea? Remember, the fluid ounces are the red 8s. So inside of 1 pint, we see 2 8s. That's a total of 16. So we need to do 48 divided by 16 to figure out how many pints are in 48 fluid ounces. So I'm going to use some multiplication to help me out. I know that 16 times 2, 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, is 32. 16 times 3, 3 times 6 is 18, 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Ha-ha! That gives me 48. So my answer is 3 pints. Now, you could also use your chart to help you. We need to get 48 fluid ounces. Well, that's 8, 16, 24, 32. Wait, yes. Plus another 8 is 40, plus another 8 is 48. So that took up all of this. Now let's just count the peas inside of there. 1, 2, 3. 3 peas, 3 pints. Mathematically, visually, either way works. I think this is our last one. Sing it with me, everybody. In the land of Gallon, there lived 4 queens. Each and every queen had just 2 things, a prince and a princess to call their own. Each prince and princess had 2 children of their own. Each of the children were 8 years old, and that's the land of Gallon, or so I've been told. Alrighty, friends, for our last problem, we are going from gallons to cups. Gallons are obviously the biggest one, so we're going big to small, multiply them all. We're going to take our 5 gallons and we're going to multiply it by how many cups there are in 1 gallon. So inside of 1 gallon, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cups are inside of 1 gallon. So to figure out how many cups are inside of 5 gallons, we need to do 16 times 5. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. So inside of 5 gallons, we have 80 cups. Woo! So think about your 1 gallon of milk in your refrigerator right now. If you had 5 of those gallons of milk, you could get 80 cups worth. It's a lot of cups. All right, there you have it, friends. That is how we use the land of Gallon to convert within our customary units of capacity. Now that you're ready, go ahead and look at our practice problems for today. If you need to review this video at any time or the video before with the song, do so. Check your answers and then move on to USA Test Prep for today. I'll see you at Zoom or in my video tomorrow. Bye.